of Indian ideas is here. As we all know that I have a famous temperament of disagreeing with many a people. And so let me begin with a disagreement with my friend Hindol. The question I guess we all need to ask ourselves, why suggest that the age of Indian ideas is here today? Was there ever an age where the Indian idea or ideas of India did not serve the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam? And on this note of disagreement, let me begin. Excellency was kind enough to talk about a bridge of people, a bridge of ideas. And when we look back as to the ideas that emanated through years and centuries in our country, as a woman, possibly the most widely known idea that I hold dear to my heart till date is the fact that world over today there is a conversation about rights of women. But possibly it's only in this civilization that we had a concept of Ardhanareshwar, that man and woman complement each other, and thus, till one is not there with the other, wo saath pura nahi hota. Possibly we are the only civilization in the world where Saptapadi, the marriage contract, is not written by a man, but actually written by a Rishika, a woman. So when I say that every age has been tempted to delve into the idea of India and see what India had to contribute, then I find that there are many instances that we can quote from this podium this evening. I know post my address, we will follow it up with a conversation with a textile historian par excellence, Rajiv Sethi ji. We have here a gentleman who will tantalize us with mathematics stories and many anecdotes. But again, another disagreement that I had when I walked in was I told Mr. Sethi, what do you think we two should do on stage this evening? Rajiv said, well, you're the minister, so I will ask you questions and you answer. I said, no, you're the historian, so you get to answer and I get to question. Which was to his discomfort because for him it was a breach of protocol. And I said that if you look at the idea of India, then irrespective of who sits in the position of power or who sits in the position of governance, it is one who is steeped in knowledge that is revered in India. That is our history, that is our culture. And when we talk about knowledge systems, how could we ever forget that I did have a stint in HRD? Today, when Excellency speaks about a bridge of ideas, what is this bridge? If we take a leaf from history, and especially a book, which is in process of being printed by two excellent Indophiles, Dr. D.K. Hari and Hema Hari, and this is a little peep that I'll give you into the education system that they are writing about. It is called the Modern System of Education from Madras. And this is a fascinating story. Charles Dickens once famously wrote about the English system of education in his work Nicholas Nickleby in 1838. He said, schoolmasters as a race were blockheads and impostors, ignorant, sordid, brutal men to whom few considerate men would have entrusted boarding or lodging of a horse or dog. These schools were opened by any man who had proved his unfitness for any other occupation in life. Now look at this bridge of ideas. There was a man who to this day lies buried in Westminster Abbey by the name Dr. Andrew Bell. And his epitaph on his tomb reads, the author of the Madras system of education. If you look at the history of Dr. Bell, you will find that he landed in India in the year 1787 to give a few religious lectures to orphan children of soldiers. And he started the Malay Military Orphan Asylum of Madras in Egmore. It is still there in the heart of Chennai today. Now, while he was searching for teachers of his school, he came across a Malabar school teacher who was teaching his students by just writing in the sand. And this gentleman, Dr. Bell, quite impressed because this, according to him, were economical erasable aids, which were then borrowed by his Malay military orphan asylum school. Now, many of us who have studied in convent-educated systems, as we call it in Delhi, very lovingly remember our class monitor. How many of us do? These are the guys who always get into trouble. You should look out for them. Now, Dr. Bell actually did see a few gurukuls in our country. And he saw in the gurukuls that the older students were minding and teaching the junior students. And that is where he borrowed the concept of class monitor. And John Friskin became the first monitor of the Malay Military Orphan Asylum Madras School. And thus, a system started taking form, taking shape. Dr. Bell went back to England and he purchased 415 acres, named it Egmore, and along with another Englishman by the name of Mr. Lancaster, he started the Madras College in England. Now, in the Gurukul that Dr. Andrew Bell had seen, it was a very popular way of studying where post the teacher leaving, students would sit together and discuss what was studied and how to approach that same topic later.